fun begins. So it's Emerald City Comic-Con this weekend here in Seattle, where I live, and the Bendu is flying up to take part in it, in the festivities, and he'll be staying with me. So I'm actually about to go pick him up from the airport right now. But I've been brainstorming over the last few days. I've been like, what can I do to make him feel welcome, make him feel at home in my new place, and basically, how do I prank the hell out of him, right? So let me show you what I've come up with. Introducing my new friend, Darth Jar Jar. Clocking in at just over 7 feet tall, this monstrosity is going to be waiting around every goddamn corner available for Bendu. It's a pretty ingenious design. He's actually a Halloween skeleton with a tripod that's been rather intimately inserted to give him some extra height and stability. Just wearing some nice little dainty gloves. Bendu doesn't know about this yet. I'm hoping I can get the drop on him. Bendu's pretty slippery. I've tried and failed to prank him in the past, so I'm really hoping this one is successful.
Why is that in here? Why?
I wanted you to feel at home, so you've got all the Jar Jars.
Oh my god, this is such a shrine. This is the most awkward fucking...
You mean you don't want that staring at you from your bed?
That is the most horrific... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Alright, here we go. Bendu's in the bathroom.
God, son of a bitch. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. Fucking thing sucks. Oh man. Oh man, the PTSD memories just flushed back. I wasn't prepared for that. Oh wow.
No one's ever prepared for Darth Jar Jar, my dude.
Yeah, dude. I know everyone on the Patreon page got to get a load of that lovely clip homage video earlier, but yeah, I totally forgot about it. It's existence for a moment.
Yeah, that was weeks ago during Emerald City Comic-Con. The Patreon gets they got the live prank updates, but yeah, I feel like the dust has settled now. The people need to know what you went through. And
the best jump scares happen right as you're about to settle down, and then you just do it again. You're like,
oh, bitch. We didn't film it, which is a big tragedy, but Bendu did get me back also. It's worth pointing out that he set the Jar Jar up at some point. He moved it, and I came down the stairs, and like it totally got me. And then it got me again later that day, and I even knew it was there. So that's double shame on me. So I did kind of get my comeuppance if anyone's concerned about me getting away with this awful treatment of my best friend, because I paid for it. Don't you worry about it.
At some point it started to bring comfort knowing that this horrendous monstrosity was standing outside my door. So it's like if some ghost or Wendigo were to come up, it's like it'd have to deal with this gothic Gungan before having to get to me. So
there's something deeply psychological about that, I think.
Yeah.
The fact that like you develop Stockholm syndrome to this giant like Jar Jar, like what are they called? Like not dream visitor. It's the like when you're having like a nightmare.
Oh, sleep paralysis demon?
Sleep paralysis demon. Yeah. You basically develop like a really fast Stockholm syndrome to your sleep paralysis demon of Jar Jar.
Like, yeah, I can't cuddle.
Because he became your protector.
I can't cuddle without that suffocating weight on my chest.
Yeah, no bueno. We all have one, and I think more than one person in the world, it's Jar Jar.
For sure.
I think multiple people experience Jar Jar Binks as the sleep paralysis demon. Hello, the Digitalis. Hello, the Droid Herder.
Hello to everyone in the chats. Hello to everyone for again joining us.
I saw you guys in the Discord. I saw you guys playing that Final Fantasy. I know what you're up to.
That's right. Dude, the graphics look amazing. I mean, I will admit, I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since the very early 90s, but
They're up to 16,
great.
15, right?
Which one? Oh, what number they're up to now?
Yeah, the most recent one.
I think I just know that they did a
I'm about to get like 4
they
answers
did
in
more
the
of the
chat.
reskin for Final Fantasy VII with like can't think of people's names. Yeah, Cloud and Sephiroth and Tifa, all of them got redone in
It's sitting on my Steam library right now. I just need to
Rebirth.
crack it open, and I wanted to stream it, and I wanted to find a time that you guys could all be online with me. So we will talk about that on Discord. Yes, but we're on the precipice of something great. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So that must be the remake, because 7 does not sound like the highest number I've heard for Final Fantasy. That's like right in the middle. It's happening. It's happening. Yes. It's happening, and you guys feel free to celebrate. It's fine.
But yeah,
I love that clip. The way he like just casually flicks his hair.
Well, he looks at it first. He looks at it a couple of times, and then he fixes it. But yeah. So something that I did want to bring up that we didn't quite get the chance to talk about when we were last week when we were going over the Alkalite trailer.
Yeah.
There was one point in time. I know a lot of the time when we get to see the Force being used to mentally manipulate people, it's usually being done in a sense of them forgetting something, or just the classic Jedi mind trick of just like being able to sort of switch their moral alignment at the moment. But there was something that I did notice like the first couple times seeing the Alkalite trailer that I thought was really cool.
What?
Was there did seem to be a moment where like one dude was like really panicked and really franticing, and like one of the Jedi used like the Force to just calm his mind instead, and like rather than like in KOTOR, for example, using like
battle meditation,
Force Plague, or using insanity to like use the Force to make someone go crazy. It was
it's
really
like the opposite.
Cool. Yeah, it was really cool and interesting being able to see that done like on screen in a moment of just like, okay, here's someone who's clearly going through a moment of hysteria. Let's literally use the Force to just wipe that for a moment so that he can speak more coherently and clearly.
It's a creative way to use the Force, and it's something that, like, because we've seen, like you said, Force Plague and everything, we've seen the opposite of that. Makes sense that we would finally see this. I'm really excited to see creative new ways of showing things that we know so well, like, you know, Force powers and how they work. Like it's becoming more and more of a challenge to show us something that we haven't already seen before. And I think the High Republic needs to get more credit for that. Like we've seen some really awesome, unique Force using, let alone Jedi moments. Like in the very first book, The Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule, something very similar to Knights of the Old Republic's battle meditation happens during the Great Hyperspace Disaster in the very beginning. It's a really, really cool sequence, and it's right in the start, and it really kind of shows you right from the gate that like the High Republic isn't just a different era of the Jedi. It's a whole different era of using the Force, and it was the relationship with the Force was different. Like the mechanics and the powers themselves were different. The way they utilized them were different. And I'm really hoping that we get to see that on screen in the Acolyte, and it isn't just like, oh, we'll wear these costumes and call it the High Republic. They're actually going to embody those like different philosophies, different relationships, and like the Jedi Order is a whole different organization. And like, yeah, that's such a cool and creative way to do it. Like your Padawan's freaking out. Like I'm going to mind trick some confidence into your ass so we can go into this fight. And I know you have.
Did you imagine doing that? I don't know if it was necessarily a Padawan that he was like doing it to in the trailer. Like it just
losing their nerve. Sure.
He just looked like some scared villager. But like, could you imagine like someone in the Clone Wars like doing that to like Jedi Knight Shaggy? Be like,
oh my god! Right before he faces Grievous,
we're gonna fight General Grievous, like,
and you're going to kick his ass.
10% of power. And then just murked, absolutely murked.
But he dies confidently and on his feet instead of like cowering. I mean, didn't he get stomped out? Didn't Grievous just like land on his ass? Like it's the worst way to go, too. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. It was pretty, yeah. There's Tartanovsky again. Like, shout out to those. I love that
Tartakovsky Micro series is the best.
Yeah, it's
the best.
The epitome of
It is not canon, and it doesn't need to be.
No, but I was gonna say it's the epitome of what campsite stories are, or like campfire stories.
100%
of this moment of like, dude, there was this one time that this one Jedi Master, dude, I saw him put on a space helmet. His ship was getting blown off, and I swear to God, he just flew. He jumped out into open space, and then all these clones followed through, and then they started blasting at all these vulture droids.
Why not? We know that these characters are larger than life and that people in the galaxy talk about them. Why not? Just like, that's always been how I view like legends in general. Is that like all of those legends are told by canon characters to each other, and whether or not they happened is a matter of debate, just like any legend, you know? Like, absolutely. It's a way of folding those stories back into the universe in one way or another. And are they true? Maybe. There's always a little bit of truth in legends, right? That's what Ahsoka always said.
Yeah, dude. There's this one time I was with the Jedi Master Kit Fisto, and we were underwater, facing underwater bank colony droids, and I swear I'd never seen a lightsaber underwater before until that moment.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, these little short.
There's no way you can't see a light. You can't ignite a lightsaber underwater. I tell you the truth, little shit. I saw what I saw.
Like, I heard that Anakin had like a whole bunch of bright blue tribal tattoos all over his like arm and chest. You're like, no, I don't believe that. For a second, it's like, no, man, I saw it. I saw it one time. It's a friend of a friend. Like, who knows? Who's to say it's not true? Who's to say that 3PO didn't give Anakin and Padme a weird like golden striptease after he got new plating put in? Like, that happened. Rewatch the micro series, guys. That's a moment. If I had a clip of it, you'd all be subjected to it right now, and you're spared because I don't have it handy. But I promise you, it's real.
Really he does. He has a total like derobe moment in the middle of the street,
and they play this like raunchy saxophone, this like Marilyn Monroe ass music, like.
And then he makes the remark of like, "Oh, do you think I'll get mugged?" Or like, yeah, like he's like, I don't know, yeah.
I mean, he is walking gold plating. I mean, I guess
it's not solid gold though. Like, I don't know.
It's a somewhat valid concern, I suppose. But you're also in the company of a Jedi and a senator, so you're probably safe. Yeah. You're probably 3PO is a bit of a sissy. We all know it's true. So Star Wars news. Did anything new happen this week that we want to talk about? First thing that comes to mind for me is that we just got an announcement of the Hasbro 6-inch Black Series is doing a little 4-pack that's going to be releasing. And take a look at this. It's for The Last Command, which is the third of the original Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy books.
Oh, okay. That was
the conclusion of the trilogy, The Last Command, right? And we've got Heir to the Empire,
that wasn't
Dark Force Rising, and then this was the culmination.
Damn, that's not the box I thought you were talking about, because I did see that they announced today, or like earlier within the week, that they were going to put out a Captain Enoch and a set of Night Brother Troopers, or Night Troopers. Yeah, Night Troopers. That's what they were called. So it's Enoch and then Enoch and like
Enoch's armor is so cool. His armor is so damn cool, dude. It really is. This is a 4-pack, and in this one, so we get Luke and Mara Jade. And I have to say, I do enjoy this Mara Jade sculpt. I like that we have such an agreed upon like outfit and face and hairdo for this character that has never been portrayed on screen, you know. But
it's true, and it gets
we've come to such a consensus that it's like it's a real person, you know.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Also, she's not hypersexualized. She's always been a very like just Mad Max. Like, she literally looks like someone who came out of the Fury Road sort of like universe. Like,
totally, she fits right in like Star Wars or like any sci-fi, really.
Yeah,
you know?
she could easily.
Yeah, I've always liked like the very simple, basic, neutral designs. Like, if you look at a lot of McQuarrie's art, it's not overly detailed. Like, he would favor just like large geometric designs over like a bunch of tiny little fastidious things, and like having she doesn't have too many things on her outfit, you know, just a vest and a belt, and everything else is like good to go.
She's got pockets. She's got cargo.
Very 70s inspired.
What do they call belt pouches? She's got a little belt,
like a bandolier.
She's always had belt pouches. Yeah.
That's Simon Bisley influence. Everyone's always got to have a million pouches. We've also got, and this is the exciting part, dude. So, fucking
bro, what a fucking wizard.
Joris Sabaoth up in here.
Oh my god, look at
him.
Those lightning hands.
Look at him.
Oh my god, that's incredible. He's so Mastodon. He's so like heavy metal, living death. He's so wizard fight. Like, God.
They absolutely nailed it, man. They nailed the here's the book cover. Let me get that focus in there.
Yeah, and that one it's just like lines coming out of his like streamers coming out of his fingers. Whereas that in the figure is straight up fucking lightning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is supposed to be lightning just with like an artistic interpretation, but
That's fair.
In the story it's lightning, but look at that figure, dude.
Jesus.
It's fantastic. Finally, we can get an action figure of a jacked wizard, which is all we've ever really wanted.
It's true. It's true. He's
The
for
fourth-
sure put points in his strength stats for sure.
This is a wizard with points and strength. There's the final figure here is Luke. Luke the clone. Now I find it very interesting that they gave Sabaoth a lightsaber. I guess it's kind of implied and inferred that he has one, but we never see it. We never see it. He never busts out and does anything with it in the story. So,
and why is he
knighting
the Luke clone?
I mean, this is just like
The Luke clone
because the marketing dude posed them this way. But
gotcha. I was gonna say because this doesn't go along with the story whatsoever.
I mean, it does in that it represents that like the Luke clone served as an acolyte to Sabaoth and was under his command. He was like being compelled to do these things by Sabaoth, and then ultimately gets taken down. But I don't think he like knighted him officially, like in this photo. But
like you are my apprentice now, because like Palpatine's still doing Palpatine shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Thrawn and Sabaoth are the main bad guys of this trilogy. But look at that little 4-pack right there, dude. Like,
dude, that's
one
great.
thing I do really like about it. It reminds me of the old like Hasbro Power of the Force when they would release 2 figures and a short comic book.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Look at the box art. Like,
yeah, the box art is dope. Look, Sabaoth with the from up. I love it.
And then
it gets me so hyped up, I lose my words sometimes.
Yeah, and Luke's blocking that lightning, dude. But yeah, it looks like there's some black and white character design behind each of the characters.
He was his apprentice, yes. Yeah. We get like extra box art inside as well. So once you remove the figures from the jewel pack, you'll see probably like original concept art of them. Dude, it's pretty awesome, man. But here's the kicker. Okay, here's the kicker for this whole thing.
That's $57.
Try $100.
Are you serious?
This retails so this retails at $99.99. It is revealed on Hasbro Pulse, and it's going to be exclusive to Hasbro Pulse, Disney Store, and Disney Parks.
That's dumb.
It will be an exclusive, and it will be $100 exclusive. So
I'll see you on eBay.
Dude, if it retails at 100, it's gonna go on eBay for like 250. That's the kicker. That's like the real rock and a hard place thing with sets like this, because I think it's overpriced. I think that's more than this thing.
Absolutely overpriced.
You should be buying this for 60, maybe $70.
Yeah.
You know? And if that was the case, I'd still wait for it to go on sale and pick it up for 40. But for $100, and it's exclusive to the parks and Disney Store, you know. It's gonna sell out. It's gonna sell so fast. So
it's gonna sell out, but people are gonna be buying it and not know who the characters are that they're buying. I think they're just gonna purely buy this box set purely because they see it as a cool new box set.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, cool, purple lightsaber! Like, what's going on there?" And like, I don't know.
Here's the thing. I just want Sabaoth. I just want Sabaoth in the lightning hands and the saber, just so I can get my hands on and see if they repurposed someone else's hilt or if they actually sculpted a hilt for Sabaoth. But I don't really like. I have a Mara Jade. I have a Luke. I don't have a Luke. That would be kind of cool, but I don't need a Luke. I need a Sabaoth. I guess maybe on eBay I could get like a fraction of the price if it's just one of the figures in the 4-pack, but it's not going to work that way. It never does. That's why they put like the prize, the cream of the crop, in a 4-pack with 3 other ones, so that you have to pay a 4-pack price. That's how they get you. Yes, also available on Hasbro Pulse. Yes, and Disney Store and the parks. I suppose it's not overpriced necessarily. it's still a ton for a 4-pack of 6-inch figures.
Yeah,
Like just
with
stepping
6-inch
outside
figures.
of
Yeah.
what kind of prices we've gotten used to. And I'm not going to say what kind of prices are normal. I'm going to say what we've gotten used to, because that's another example of Stockholm syndrome right there. What
Because
we've
even with
slowly become accepting of, like, how much we're willing to pay for this stuff.
That's
man.
true. But then even with Black Series within itself, they've almost split off, and they have like miniature Black Series, which doesn't seem to have as high quality. And then they do have like their high
Yeah,
quality.
there is, isn't there? There's the 3.75-inch Black Series line, which at that point I'm like, why aren't you just getting the regular Hasbro line? I say we just bring back Power of the Force.
Slightly bigger.
Everything was perfect when Power of the Force was what was going down. Even though they had like Luke Skywalker looking like a fucking linebacker, you know, they clearly used like a G.I. Joe or like some muscle man sculpt for like the Han Solo, the Lando, and the Luke. No, those were the ones that I played with growing up. Most of my generation and the one after me, honestly. Everyone loved those Power of the Force figures. I do like the retro figures that they're coming out with now. Like they're
retros are pretty interesting.
Like the retro collection of figures that didn't exist. Like there's a Mandalorian pack with a Grogu in it and a Din Djarin and stuff. Like none of that was around, but it's a fun like thought experiment of like, what if these characters came out in 1977? What would their merchandise have looked like? And like they've dialed back the clock on
replicate it. Yeah.
And that's really cool. That's really cool to see. Like there was a Phantom Menace one, and there was like an old school Jar Jar, like Jar Jar of the 70s. And like that's just it's a fun thing to think about for me, you know?
It's true.
Yeah, probably. That's probably a good notion. So speaking of park exclusive, I'm gonna have an opportunity to pick that bad boy up pretty soon here, because
or at least look at it, hopefully, if it doesn't sell out too quickly.
Yeah, and take a ton of pictures and try and analyze that stupid hilt, because I got to know more about what they've done with Sabael's hilt. Like, what did they draw from?
I appreciate that his lower robe looks like it's made out of cloth. I like that for the Luke clone, his blue outer cloak looks like it's made of cloth. Because like that was one of the cool things about Black Series, is that with their Darth Maul in particular, or some of their Vaders, like they gave the capes and they gave the things texture, and they gave them actual fabric and gave it like more details to like what it was. And you didn't feel bad paying like $20 or $30 for a figure, because it was like a posable model essentially.
Right.
Whereas these
super
ones,
articulated, high quality.
Yeah.
Not so much. I mean, well, the quality is not that bad. The quality is not that bad, but it varies. It's not consistent enough, you know?
It wasn't, yeah.
I agree. The body mold for Luke does look really good. It seems a little uninspired that it's just like a Jedi tunic and a cloak. However, that's pretty faithful to what he's described as wearing in The Last Command. Yeah. So like Luke wears all kinds of outlandish and like dramatic, crazy outfits, but that's during Dark Empire, you know? The clone of Luke, it does wear something very drab. So it does make sense to do that. I'm not saying the quality of these isn't great. I'm just saying the quality of these doesn't justify $100 for a 4-pack. That's a separate statement entirely. I think these look fantastic. Like we were just absolutely salivating over this one. I don't know what you're talking about. Like I think these are phenomenal. I think the Luke is really good. The Mara Jade, like I was complimenting that earlier. I think it's one of the better sculpts of her that we've gotten. It's better than the last Black Series Mara Jade that got released. And that was the contest winner one. You remember that one? That one wasn't bad either, but this is an improvement.
And then this one comes with a secondary head, it looked like, as well. It came with a hooded head and like sand goggles.
Yeah. What's cool about this one, if you look at the 4-pack image here, this one has the sand goggles head too. It's like a switch out heads, which I think is really fun.
But just her.
Yeah, I agree. She does have better hair in this one. This has potential. Release lines based on EU novels spark interest in them, increase book sales. Plus, I want a set of Omega Squad clothes. Dude, if we could get like a Karen Travis 4-pack of like Commandos and maybe some Mando characters, oh, that would be dope. But yeah, I think there's some real interest here. I'm gonna wait and like reserve my comments for after how well it sells, because like I agree with everyone that said it's gonna sell out really fast regardless of the price. How much of that reflects on scalpers, I don't know. But if the right message is sent to Hasbro and they start releasing more of these 4-packs based on EU novels, I think that really would drive interest into people reading Legends, which is always awesome. There's so much of Star Wars that's like, I don't know. There's enough people determined to not let it get left behind that I won't say it's been left behind. But there is a newer generation of Star Wars fans that are entering into it and consuming contemporary canon and don't really, I don't know. They didn't grow up with those Legends books. They weren't around when they were being released, and therefore the draw is different for them. It's kind of a curiosity of like, what was it like before this stuff versus, people our age that are kind of like,
yeah, what was it like?
They're like, don't let go. Don't let go of Legends. Don't let it slip out of our hands.
What was it like walking into that pharmacy toy aisle or that grocery store toy aisle and randomly seeing Mullet Chewbacca, and you're thinking to yourself, or like the random swoop bike rider.
Yeah, finding a Shadows of the Empire era like Power of the Force figure.
How is this a Star Wars figure? Like, who is this? Or you're looking at Prince John and you're like, what fucking movie was this guy in? I don't know. But like, again, it was an introduction, kind of like what we said about live action Avatar.
Friar Tuck ass, like Gamorrean guard sculpts.
Yeah, it's something that helps reintroduce older media to newer audiences. Yep. And at least with this one, so I wish, kind of like what you were saying earlier about how some of the old Hasbro figures used to come with like an introductory little comic book or something. If they were able to do something like that with these characters, that would be super dope. Or if they were able to put out something like with Old Mandalore.
Yeah.
Or with
that would be cool, man.
Yeah, because didn't
Blood Ties?
Blood Ties, exactly.
Yeah, getting the Blood Ties, the Jango Fett story by Hayden Black. I love that one.
Yep.
I love that one. Hayden Blackman. Yeah, man. And also to respond to Captain Ragged, the Shadows of the Empire Luke Redguard figure is like the best Luke figure. I love it. And I love that they went with the original Luke sculpt too and just like switched out the torso for that one. I call that the creatine Luke,
Oh, super ripped Luke? Yeah.
No, 100%. Mara was kind of a master of disguise. She kind of had like that Padme energy before Padme ever did. Like not in terms of what her character was like. She was vastly different, but like in terms of like how many outfits they'd put her in. Every time she appeared in comics, she would wear a slight variation on something else.
Who, for Mara? Oh, Mara.
Mara Jade in the comics, yeah. I agree. Sometimes too many details can get in the way, and like simplicity. Like, look at the original Hammerhead Ithorian figure from the 70s. Bolo and his little unitard.
Oh god, yeah.
Perfect action figure.
The bigger one, but the bigger one.
I love that they animate him just like that in Bad Batch too. He's still wearing his stupid little leotard. It's great.
But like, I love how much posability you get out of the newer and larger ones, and then just the amount of detail that you get with the Black Series figures. Like, I remember the first ones that first came out for the clones, and just like getting to see, the Tia Morrison face and being like, damn, that's like actually the fucking dude. Or like, there'd be other figures that would start to come out slowly and surely, and then we were just like, man, like that's a phenomenal mold. Like that's an absolute, like copy of the actor's face.
I mean, sometimes the sculpts are so impressive. Sometimes they look really good, and sometimes it's so obvious that I'm like, this is not even this person. This was originally designed to be someone else, and you're just repurposing it and saying it's this character. It might even not even be someone from Star Wars. It could be from whatever line the factory was making before they moved on to this character, And it's disappointing when they cut corners, because you notice that stuff even as a kid, not necessarily adult collectors being the only ones complaining about this.
Oh, yeah. Or
kids
like
notice too.
If one ankle or if one hip is way looser than the other leg or ankle and you're trying to stand them, but like it just keeps slipping to the side sort of shit.
Right. Yeah. You just can't get them to stand up. The legs are all bendy because the plastic's too thin, stuff like that.
I guess it would just be a manufacturing issue, not necessarily a Black Series issue. But still, again, like the fact that they're able to prioritize which figures they want to give their attention to versus the other ones. Like it's, I mean, at the same time, if you want to hit different, well, fuck, I can't talk. I guess it depends also if you're trying to hit different demographics, right? So if you want a cheaper Black Series figure because of like, whatever economic reason, because we're in the middle of a fucking recession, you have that option. But then if you want the higher quality, also Black Series, clone, then like that option is also there, I suppose.
But having the options, that's what's important.
Having the options, yeah.
Absolutely.
But just the other figures that also were coming out that we got news of in the previous Adepticon, which was in Chicago this past weekend, which is essentially kind of like except Adepticon deals more with like in-house competitive tabletop gaming. So a lot of leaks and, well, at least model leaks were released of more Star Wars Shatterpoint figures. So Veers, Thrawn, a bunch of the actual character cards for the Ghost Crew were revealed. Where it was also revealed that we're getting a lot of more generic characters. So the players who wish to have more of a Jedi-focused or all lightsabers-based team will now have that availability. I believe Coyote Mundi is going to be one of the primary units, and then he's going to be coming with a Padawan that has just like a basic robes and a cape, but he's going to have an interchangeable head, which comes with 2 to 3 different aliens. So one of them is going to be
that's kind of cool.
A Moncal, which is I think the first head that we saw, because he had like the big Admiral Akbar head, and then we don't know what the other apprentice heads were. The other Jedi Master was Coyote Mundi, and then there was another Jedi I can't think of off the top of my head. Chewbacca and Han Solo got ultimately released as well, so they will be joining the Shatterpoint team. Trying to think of who else. Moff Gideon. Well, we've known about Moff Gideon for a while. There were a bunch of models that they showed like black and white concepts of that they were now able to show actual full painted conceptual drawings for.
Man,
other like Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff with all the X-Men stuff that's been going on. Apocalypse will finally be out. Mephisto will be released.
Are they going to release new versions of any X-Men stuff based on the X-Men 97 appearances, do you think?
So no, so I think
tie-in stuff for that.
So what they did instead, well, maybe theoretically, so
seems like a smart play for them.
Within the game itself, Wolverine, there's a couple of characters that have multiple iterations within themselves, or like different versions of themselves. Wolverine, for one.
We're talking about Star Wars Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol right now.
Yeah. 2 so far. So he has his regular 90s, like the Wolverine, orange and like wearing yellow and blue. Nice. There's a Logan Howlett, like the Wolverine, where he's wearing regular clothes.
Like leather
and
jacket.
The next one that's going to be coming out is Weapon X. So he's going to be like half naked with all the tubes and like the visor and like trudging through Canada.
Sure.
So for some characters, they definitely have other
naked leaking bag.
Yeah. Most recently, the biggest releases to Marvel Crisis Protocol that came out with the beginnings of X-Men 97 were Bishop and Nightcrawler were released.
Nice.
Shadowcat / Kitty Pryde and Iceman were released as their own box. And then Professor Xavier and the Shadow King, which was the really creepy astral projection demon dude who lived in Egypt.
Oh, right.
He kidnapped Aurora, or he kidnapped Storm initially and like turned her into a child slave. And like
classic Shadow King.
Yeah. And then Xavier came in and like kicked his mental ass. And then, so they just all got recently released. And then, there's a bunch of other stuff, but that won't be until like later on within the year.
50. I thought he was centuries old.
Wolverine?
Wasn't Wolverine around during like the Revolutionary War?
Maybe, I mean, 50, maybe as in like the character, he's 50 as in since the character was created.
Sure, maybe the character was created 50 years ago. Because Hugh Jackman, I think, is older.
Logan, because the Wolverine character, he's like been around since the Revolutionary War.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, because in Wolverine Origins, we had that whole like time montage thing. Where you saw how long he's been alive.
Few hundred.
Oh, okay, since he first came out, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the character has been created and been around for 50 years. That's fair. Yeah.
You know what? I am I don't know, man. I'm getting kind of thirsty. All this talk about Star Wars makes me thirsty these days. And when you're thirsty, it's good to drink something refreshing.
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
Boom.
Boom.
I've never had one of these. I'm actually gonna open it up and try it for the first time right now.
It should be
But
fun.
I'm gonna be using my Bib Fortuna beer opener, that bottle opener that I got at Emerald City. Let me get the camera focus on this thing.
Mm.
Look at this bad boy.
Dude, that thing is so fucking great when you put it up that far because it almost lines up perfectly with your face.
Oh my god,
It's
right? There you go.
Half you, half bib. Ugh.
Ewonawonga. R2D2. Dude, when he said that shit, even when I was a kid, I was like, R2D2. You're saying that R and 2 are the same in Huttese, they're cognates, but D2. No. 3PO was making that shit up on the spot. That was never believable to me. But there's the other side.
Dude, it's so good. That artwork, dude.
Yeah, the artist name is Mayday. You can find him on
It's
Instagram.
really
His stuff is awesome. Dude, I wish I had the blue milk. That is some new news that we can talk about. Also, is that they've announced that blue milk will be sold off-site, not just in the parks anymore.
Fuck yeah!
You can
Like
get
in downtown Disney, or like
I don't
you
know.
can
I
buy it
don't know
somewhere.
where yet, but you can get like a carton of milk.
Hmm.
Excited to check
Probably
that.
Trader Post. If anywhere, it would have to be at the Trading Post. Back in the day,
I used to be young.
back in the day when that used to be a Rainforest Cafe. But yeah, back in the day when we used to be
Shout
young.
out to Nick Groff for no reason in particular.
Fuck that guy. Anyway.
Well, there goes the endorsement.
Before all the questions get flooded in, it's like, who's Nick Groff? How'd he piss off the Dork forces? Because he falsified evidence, chat.
Doesn't take much to piss off the Dork forces, to be fair. And I'm going to show the label one more time in case people at home were not quite able to see it now that I got the camera to focus. This is what I'm going to be trying here for the very first time.
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
Cool. All right, let's do it. Let's crack her open. I'm excited. I'm excited.
I mean, it probably tastes somewhere in between like a Corona and
there's a Peruvian restaurant not far from me, and they had it. So I went down there and was like, "Yo, can I just get a Cristal from you, man?" They made me buy like a whole meal. It was delicious stuff, so I'm not complaining.
Now. Yeah, what does it smell like? Does it smell like beer?
Okay, yeah, it's like a Dos Equis.
Okay.
It's kind of or maybe like a Modelo Negro. I don't know.
So it's pretty.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Okay, Negro is pretty heavy and like
it is heavy. It does have kind of a heavy taste. I don't know. My very limited beer drinker palate says that it's refreshing. It's not it's not too heavy, but it's definitely not light.
Definitely not light. Okay, so you wouldn't.
It's heavier than a Corona for sure.
You wouldn't eat it with your tacos.
Yeah, it's like a Modelo Negro for sure. Yeah, try it again.
You'd eat that with.
Oh God, a jingle is way too long to do that for. That was good.
That was good.
I'm playing it very well.
I'm proud of you. That was a good
Man, speaking of Disney Plus and speaking of their releases, all the chatter is saying that Ventress is finally going to return tonight at midnight in this upcoming episode 9 of The Bad Batch. What say you, Bendu? Do you think they're right? Do you think we're being misled? Is this a red herring?
So before, kind of just to close off our X-Men 97 conversation, like
please, yes,
because I haven't seen the first 2 episodes. I know that they're doing a thing. Disney Plus is doing its normal Disney thing of just releasing everything 1 episode at a time. But I do really appreciate, and I do find it absolutely hilarious, that it's triggering all of the dude bros that it's meant to trigger with directly straight up off of the bat. Like these first 2 episodes, I've been hearing how a lot of people are like, oh, they go straight into the bigotry. Oh, they go straight into like insert blank homophobia, blank, everything, put it here, and just the word mutant. And like, dude, they go straight up hard right after.
That's good. That's good. Don't mince words, because clearly, even though I never found it to be subtle, it was still too subtle for enough people that, like, a lot of people that have like the antithesis views of the people in that world, were rallying around it and feeling like it jived with their values, when in fact, like, they're the people that the X-Men would hate. It's like,
it's kind of
really, it was too subtle still. So I'm glad that they're really just like going for the throat this time around and really being overt about, like, this is what we're all about. Don't fucking get it twisted.
Yeah, it's all the people who are like, don't make Star Wars political. It's like, keep my politics out of Star Wars. It's like, keep my politics out of X-Men. It's like, bro, have you ever read X-Men? Are you fucking kidding me?
Triggering dude bros is our speciality.
Right? Like, you recognize that Magneto, who just like fucking hates everyone, is a Holocaust survivor, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, goddamn. And then Xavier, who essentially gets, at least in the cartoon version, I'm pretty sure he gets, doesn't he get assassinated, or in a way, like, something happens to him where they kind of give him a Martin Luther King sort of send off, where he dies and kind of like,
I know they do that with Captain America
but yeah, it was heavy shit. It's heavy shit. I'm still kind of waiting for all of it to drop so I can just kind of binge all of it together.
Fair.
But yeah. But with that enclosed of X-Men, and which also kind of made me think of Delicious in Dungeon, which will slightly make
Meshi
on later. With Ventress showing herself, the fact that last week that we got to see Fennec Shand.
They teased us with the music, and we didn't pick up on it at the time, but they did. They did give us the Ventress theme right at the end there.
The fact that they gave us the coded message, and just everything was very, very subtle and misdirective. I don't know.
See, I found it to be a refreshing return to the adventure of the week kind of format.
It's true. It's
nice that we kind of got this little interlude for a minute and got to hang out with Fennec Shand one more time. Like, fuck,
dude, we got to see all the gators and the fact that
Florida.
That the mark they were tracking, Jesus, was the praying mantis dude who took like 3 to 4 stun blasts to the face before he actually passed.
He was awesome, man. I forget the name of the species, but it's actually an OG A New Hope species. There's one of them in the cantina in A New Hope.
Oh wow, okay.
Big old puppet boy, but now there's a real.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, I take full credit for that. By the way, Bendu's watching Dungeon Meshi because I force fed it to him when he came to stay here.
100%.
I sat him down and made him watch every episode that was out.
Every food pun, yeah. And now,
and then I was like, "Go home, watch this with your girlfriend, and get her addicted to it too."
Yeah, so she's not addicted, but I've definitely forced it upon her a little bit, and so we definitely have watched a few episodes, and he
perpetuated the cycle because I forced it on him.
I don't know if we'll make it. I don't. It has yet to say how many episodes will be within the season.
500. That's my guess.
But the fact that spoilers.
Oh, whoa! Are we doing spoilers?
The fact that the dragon is
also wait before you get going. I need to say that spoiler alert was brought to you by Cerveza Cristal.
Cerveza Cristal. Cerveza Cristal.
Oh God, it's the power.
Please continue.
Oh God, I almost lost my train of thought because of the power.
It is. It's strangely powerful. It's strangely powerful to just do that. I need to bust that out of my next work.
Dude, okay,
work
so
meeting.
one the massive similarities between character and personalities that Leos has with his sister is hilarious. The fact that they're both freaks, they're both weirdos when it comes to you got to eat what?
I know the fact that Marcille was so at the simultaneously overjoyed that Fallen had returned and dismayed that she was siding with them about the dungeon food. In her mind, she built her up as this oh yeah, she'll have my back when I say that this is disgusting and we should be eating normal food. Like the whole time, she just sort of like made that promise to herself, and then that's
She's
not
like,
at all
"You
what
eat
happened.
fish people," and just Leos is like, no, had to lie and just be like, "No, we didn't get the opportunity to eat fish people." Like, oh my god, yeah. But then, yeah, that last episode, yeah, they definitely decided to. Yeah, it was a fun one. It was definitely fun. It's good seeing the characters together. The fact that we got to see the resurrection spell and the fact that they used the dragon meat to do it.
Yeah,
Marcel
awesome.
has some massive heavy metal points.
Dude, that fight was brutal. Like, I
If I-
thought Senshi died for a second there. Leo's losing his leg, like, and then finding Fallen, and she's literally just gore and a skull. I was like, holy
they
shit.
found her staff, and then
Holy shit. I can't wait for those reactions to hit Patreon and YouTube, by the way, because I've recorded all my reactions to Dungeon Meshi, but it's taken a while to get through editing it. I lost my mind in that episode, though. That one was fantastic. I know that we don't have like a whole lot of time tonight. I know that you're not feeling well. So we should jump ahead to Bad Batch, lay out a couple initial thoughts and predictions ahead of tonight's dropping here.
If Ventress did get revealed tonight, I hope that at least it would be done in a way that is tasteful and not just this random. I don't know, like they could have, if they're just going to introduce Ventress as a method of introducing M count, they could have done it a different way. Like we could have seen Quinlan Voss, we could have seen like shit. Cad Bane could have even fucking said something because he's killed and hunted so many Jedi.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's any like when she said Class 1 bounty hunter, I immediately thought of so many names.
Yeah, so it's like
kind of strange that Fennec herself wasn't one of them, you know, because she said she wasn't taking M count assignments, and either she lied, or she straight up isn't. The person she contacted was Ventress herself, and she is one of Ventress's allies in aiding her like staying hiddenness.
Right? Yeah. Right? So if they do introduce Ventress tonight, I hope that it would be in a way that we get to see her at least one more time later on in the season, since we have roughly 5 episodes left. I wouldn't want her to just. I don't want her to be introduced just to like, this is what a definition is. This is the definition of the word of the day, and and have her just fuck off and piss off, unless, right?
The more they use her, the higher the likelihood she doesn't survive.
Right? There's that too. So unless they like she shows
smaller
up,
the tease, the higher the chances she does survive.
So here's what I was thinking: if she shows up, gives the word of the day. Best case scenario: how old would she have to be to show up on Dathomir in Ahsoka season 2? Because she could be alive still. If she could just be kicked, but Dathomir is a big planet. Dathomir is a big planet. So if any reason, if they introduce her now randomly within Bad Batch, like, yeah, no, she got resurrected, she's doing bounty hunter witch stuff, like, and then leave it at that, it could be completely plausible for her to be reintroduced in live action on Dathomir in Ahsoka season 2, which would be fucking phenomenal. Because, like, if everyone's like, oh, we're getting to see Plo Koon again in Acolyte because look at the back of his head. He should be alive because he's over 100. Well, it's like, okay, then let's see Ventress alive in Ahsoka season 2.
I mean, it's absolutely possible.
If you want to play the favorite character game, if you want to play the.
I'm trying to figure it out right now. So
she'd be 59 by that point, says Ice. Yeah, see, so she could totally be some old witchy.
That's the number that I just came up with too. So yeah, perfect. She'd be about 59 years old, which I think is totally doable. Absolutely doable on screen.
Dude, she could be like Kreia in She could be like Kreia and use the Force to like just telepathically throw lightsabers around herself.
She could be at 90 years of age teaching Rey after Rise of Skywalker.
Or teaching Marin, if anything. Like, she would be teaching Marin.
Teaching Marin makes way more sense, but like in terms of general force wielding, like she could have an interaction with Rey as like a 90-year-old Dathomiri crone.
Dude, it would totally be like Toph meeting Korra. It would totally be Toph meeting Korra. Like, oh, you
totally
snapper. You don't know shit about the Force. You don't know shit.
That's true. She would probably age more gracefully than anyone else being a witch.
Dude, we don't know how old the Great Mothers were when we got to see them on fucking whatever planet that was.
Maybe they were like 35, and it's just like purity is really rough on your skin. It's like worse than tattooing. I feel like they gave me the impression they were like ancient, you know.
The Great Mothers. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
They
triad.
were either ancient themselves or they were like living an ancient lifestyle, and therefore it's like indistinguishable from their own ancestors. Might as well be the same people, you know. One of those, one or the other. Yeah, exactly. Maul and Rebels. He's 60 plus, and he's busting out all kinds of moves. Age is nothing but a number, especially when you can use the goddamn force. When you can levitate objects with your mind, like forget about it. At that point, like it doesn't matter how old you get. Look at the Emperor. Look at Emperor Palpatine, you know?
He's chucking lightning all the time though, but he's still using stuff for absolute endurance. But he's definitely like
okay, look at Emperor Vitiate, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Tenebrae.
Yeah.
The Valkorian. Like he's so goddamn old and he's pretty spry. It takes the entire cast of the Old Republic to take him out, you know?
That's true.
So, spoiler alert. Why is the Acolyte getting so much hate? You know, I honestly don't know. Apparently, I will say to my credit that like, and maybe it's because like we've attracted such a nice, like authentically nice people community to our channel and our Discord that like all the comments on my trailer reaction to the Acolyte have been positive. And have been people being excited along with me for this cool show that's going to be awesome. I've heard of a lot of hate going around, and there's been a lot of like really inappropriate comments being made to cast members and showrunners and things like that. And I don't know. My best guess, because all I can really do is guess, because I'm not someone that hates it. I can't fathom why you would get so up in arms about it. But you know, people, the dude bros TM have co-opted it for use in their little culture war or whatever it is. Like honestly, it's not even worth giving them the bandwidth. Just know that people that are hating on it probably have an ulterior motive, because how much hate can you really heap on a show that you haven't watched a single episode of, that isn't even finished? Like, talk about jumping the gun. Like, you don't know shit about what it's going to be like because you haven't seen it yet. You know,
they're just
it's not even out yet. Like, that shows how much your opinion is with 110% confidence, and you haven't even seen it. Like that should tell you everything you need to know about those kinds of opinions.
Because they're racist. I'm just looking through the chat here a little bit. Yeah, Captain Wrecked with Yoda being 850 plus, doing flips and using Form 2. Exactly. Will Jackson, Mother Talzin's possibly as old as the galaxy. I don't know about that, but there was it Mother Talcin? I forget who the older old lady was who was actually doing the resurrection chant during the Dooku separatist war.
Talzin. It was Talzin. Yeah. It was Mother Talzin.
No, not Talzin. There was the other older lady who was the one who was like who was Talzin's mentor.
Oh, right. Yeah, and she was like the healer lady.
He was the one who was doing the actual like spells and
the real grandma look. She had like the big gray braids.
And
That's
right. Duke, and then Grievous killed her. Grievous killed the old lady, and then Talzin and the other sisters.
I don't remember her name. You're right. Yeah, she was
her. And then Talzin became like the matriarch of that particular coven after that. After her mentor got killed. But there was an older witch. There was an older witch for sure. Devil Dog. They robbed us of Talvin and Palps. I mean,
that would have been
okay. So
just visually, dude. Red versus green, or I guess blue and purple versus green, because he's all lightning attacks. You know.
That's true. It would have been, I think, more of a philosophical debate on that one, just because like both of them represent so much different aspects of the Force. Like even though they're both
philosophical fight would have been cool, man. I want Merlin versus Madame Mim out of that shit. I want them to just go straight demonstrations of power. Because Talzin's not going to suffer a fool like Palpatine, you know?
Right? But like that's the respect so it would be a knowledge versus willpower thing, and so it's like I feel like Palpatine would still win that fight because he's just pure ego, whereas Talzin, like she's just like any other sorcerer. Her knowledge is limited, or her power is limited by the spells she knows.
Yeah.
Like
he would eventually wear her down and overpower her. I believe he would win that fight, but that's how I would want that fight to play out. It would be like a Madame Mim and Merlin type showdown where they're trying to one up successively the other, you know. That would be dope.
Because Dooku would have died from the exorcism or from the possession spell Like when they snipped his fucking hair and put it in the green. Like she could have killed him right then and there. So that's a good ass point. Versus Palpatine, like I think it would have been way more of a wizard battle if it was the two of them together. That's a good point. That's a good point. Oh,
no, it would have been dope.
Morgan replaced Thousand Years Down the line and died in.
Yes, she did. Whew, man.
Was Morgan the old lady?
No, Morgan Elsbeth was in Ahsoka.
Oh, Morgan, gotcha. Yeah,
with the Beskar spear. Yeah, she had the shortest tenure as Night Mother, which is too bad because she was pretty badass. She definitely took a raw deal in universe. You know, I'm happy the actors got to come back for more screen time than just that one episode of The Mandalorian, but still was sad that she died. Yeah, man, I'm stoked. I hope Ventress does come back tonight. I hope that we get not just an a worthwhile explanation for how they're going to navigate the canon and the circumstances of the end of her story versus seeing her now on the screen in a time that takes place after that. Like,
yeah,
I expect an explanation tonight, and I think I'll probably be satisfied with what we get. I hope they don't leave it up in the air, and that I hope Ventress doesn't come back just to get killed off. Like Devil Dog was saying in the chat, like having her get killed by Vader would be just so hard to watch after all this hype of like bringing her back and then just nothing. So I'm not even going to manifest that. I don't think that's going to happen, but you know,
no, we haven't even seen. We have yet to see any like real sabers in this show. Now I'm thinking about it, which is kind of what's been great about Bad Batch is that they've kind of shied away from Force wielders large majority of the time.
Yeah.
So it'd be, I mean, we did get to see Palpatine. Of course, I'd be stoked to see Palpatine. It would be very out of character, out of story, and out of place for Palps to be the one to take out Ventress also.
God, they have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. Just be like, somehow Ventress returned. Like, let Wrecker say it. That's the only explanation we get.
If anything, it'll
mere
be
magic. Secrets only the witches knew.
Yeah, they're just gonna talk to her and be like, "Oh yeah, we met some gray-skinned goth chick with a yellow laser blade. Like she just told us about midi-chlorians, but we don't know it. We don't even know her name. Like,
and they'll be like, "Word anyway." You know,
yeah. If we do some like what's it called back in the '90s or back in the '80s when was it sitcoms when TV shows would have guest stars and like the whole TV audience would all hoot and holler because it's like you have someone from
like a guest spot, like a cameo.
Yeah. So it's like if it ends up just being one of those, I'd be slightly disappointed and surprised. But at the same time, it just means that she could show up again in other media, not dead. Because again, tonight she could not show up, and we could still get the conversation between Cad Bane and Fennec of like, "Yo, bitch, you lost me a lot of money."
I would still be down to see that showdown. I think we're not going to get that at this point. They haven't. Well, I guess there's still a lot of episodes left to go. Do I think we could see Quinlan? I think that if Quinlan is not with Ventress tonight, he's dead. Actually, no, we know he's not dead because we saw his name on the path. But
I almost called it the Trail of Tears. Oh my god,
Jesus! Maybe he's not dead, but he is out of commission in a way that, like, I don't think that he would be voluntarily away from her side. If they've been separated, it's like against his will kind of thing, you know. Maybe dead is an overstep, but he's out of commission during this time, and that's why he's not there. He's in trouble of his own.
Or he's doing the path stuff, and he's being a father to his child, and with his other hottie of the expanded universe, fucking Colleen Hurts. Like, he has other lovers. God damn it!
You think he's doing a fucking Galactic Mambo number 5?
He has a father. He is
a little bit of Ventress over there, and
a little bit of his long lost Colleen on the other side. Yes.
Oh, jeez.
It could very much happen.
Give him that.
He survived Order 66, and purely because of the thought of like, I'm gonna.
Well, in that case, and cheers to Quinlan Voss. He's got best of both worlds right there.
Yeah, no, Quinlan's whole thing was that he was the Anakin story that went right. But he was on Kashyyyk when Order 66 happened, and he got away because he killed the clones that he was with. But then he was like severely damaged and like trying to survive in the fucking forest. And the only way he survived was the help of like this teenage Wookiee. And eventually like his allies find him and get him off planet.
How the fuck
But
is
yeah.
it 9%?
That's sad.
Now we know. It's 9%.
That's why it's refreshing.
Yeah, totally. That's totally what it is.
Yeah, it's just for you to stay hydrated and not fucked up.
It'd be good on a hot day. Drink this on the beach, man.
Devil Dog Quinlan's got game, let's be honest. Yes, he has. He always has. But at the same time, this is kind of why I have an issue with Dave Filoni's version of Quinlan Voss versus like the Dark Horse.
He even had game being like a lazy stoner surfer dude. Like,
yeah, like Quinlan is supposed to be like the Ronan Dex / Stargate Atlantis kind of character, or just like he's the barbarian. He's the Conan of just like he's the angry, just cursed guy. I don't want to say Lobo. He's the edgelord of the Jedi.
He's not even the edgelord. He's more like he has like male teacher energy.
He does, yeah.
Doesn't grade the assignments till the last fucking moment, but he always skates because he's charismatic and the students like him.
Yes, exactly.
But he doesn't do like 80% of his goddamn job. Like, that's what I see. I think Quinlan Voss has like male teacher energy. Sorry to any male teachers that are watching this, but you know it's true. You know it's true.
And his master was like the Kakashi of the Jedi Temple. Of like he had such a really cool story. And then he got to teach Aayla Secura. He got to be Aayla Secura's master. Like it was just
he's got his own awesome like lineage of masters before and after him that's like badass.
But he had to kill his aunt. He had to kill vampires. He actually got to kill the vampire that killed his parents, which was actually pretty badass. But he found out his auntie was the one who sold out his parents to the vampires in the first place. So it's like he's had a past, man. He's had a
complicated past. Yeah, he's got a complicated family history. That's for damn sure. One thing that I wanted to talk about briefly and let everybody know is going down is obviously May 4th is Star Wars Day this year, and as always, there's a million things going on that are Star Wars related. One of which is The Phantom Menace is coming back, being re-released in theaters for another theatrical run, which is badass. There's going to be a marathon happening of all 9 Skywalker Saga films. It's like 12 hours right there at participating theaters. You'll have to check in your city to see if there's one near you. But also happening on May the 4th at Galaxy's Edge, Batu West, is going to be the Park Forces meetup of 2024. I'm so stoked about this. This is the second year that we're doing this. We did a Park Forces meetup last year, and it was so much fun. We had over a dozen people show up. It was only a one-day event last year. We just hung out at the park all day and then went and grabbed some drinks. And this year, it's going to be a 3-day event. Okay, so we picked up tickets on May 2nd to Disneyland After Dark, which is the Disneyland After Hours event that they hold. So we're going to be there on May 2nd and May 4th during the day. Obviously, for Star Wars Day, we're spending the whole day at Batu, hanging out with everybody. So hopefully anyone that has tickets and wants to buy tickets can come on down there. If you don't want to buy tickets, though, because let's face it, Disney tickets are pretty expensive. On May 3rd, we're also going to be down at the Scum and Villainy Cantina, which is in LA. We're going to be posted up there starting in the early evening around 6 or 7 p.m. and just like go until close. And we would really looking forward to meeting everybody that wants to come down and hang out. There's going to be some exciting merch opportunities going on, some giveaways, some things like that. So if you are inclined and or available, come on down to Disneyland. Come on down to the Scum and Villainy Cantina. Hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. May 2nd through 4th. Boom. We'll be talking about this on every subsequent podcast too. So make your plans. We'll be giving you reminders. But I really can't wait to see everybody. It's going to be so much fun. Hell yes. The Bad Batch comes out tonight. It's going to be insane. Our reaction will be hitting YouTube and Patreon in the coming days. You guys can stay tuned for those. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been the Dork Forces Podcast, issue number 64. Okay. And we didn't really have a title or a theme for this one. It was just Star Wars news and rumors. But I'm going to go ahead and say that this was the day that I discovered that I actually fucking love this drink. This is delicious.
We'll have to see what local not breweries, but like
we're gonna crash and burn if we stay live any longer because this is already hitting me. see if there's any local breweries that serve
breweries,
Basic Cristal. Is that what you're going to say?
Well, I can't think of I don't drink, so I'm trying to think of what the fucking word is when like the liquor stores that sell exotic beers and the ones that they
like imports and stuff.
Yeah, import shops. There we go.
Yeah, sure.
There was a word. I just didn't have it.
I mean, I found this at my local Peruvian restaurant, which I go to all the time, and I just happened to look at their beer list, and I was like, "Holy shit, you've got Cristal! Okay, I'll take some." So, and now I know that I actually like this beer. So I wasn't expecting that. I was kind of drinking it for the meme of it, but now I'm like, okay, I get it. I see you, Cerveza Cristal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate you, man. Yes, do it. Use my force, because I'm doing the force mind trick. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been the Dork Forces podcast. Catch us next Tuesday at the exact same time, 7 Pacific time, right here on the YouTube channel, on the Twitch channel, on the Twitter page, wherever you happen to be watching. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in and supporting us.
We will be trying a new structure in the next few podcasts as well. So
yeah, we're going to try a couple new things. The podcast might look a little different next time you see us. So awesome. Cool. Well, thanks again. And as always, may the force be with you.
Let's stand here.
I've been waiting for you.
Activate. Very good. Here we go. Left side. Right side. Very good. Oh, that was a good one. That was good. That was